Sorry about that, just having camera issues. Stopped itself. Gremlins, eh, Joe?
Yep.
So again, oyster up there, look. So just want to get round that oyster there. Got it, look. Turn that over. Through the bone. 2 bits. Now I'll just put that there a sec. While I've got this like this, obviously we want to find the joint then between the two and just cut straight through it. Just cut straight through. Watch me miss it now. Yeah, miss the joint. It always has to be when I'm on camera, this, doesn't it?
Yep.
The bloody is the joint. It's there, look, I was slightly the wrong side of it. There, look. See where, I don't know. See where I mean, so I need to be that side. Just cut straight through. Maybe I need to sharpen the knife. Anyway. And this is the dark meat. Like I've said before, on a chicken you have got like dark meat and light meat. The legs and the thighs are the dark meat. Straight through, look, did that one better this time. You've got that's the dark meat separated. There you go. So bring this back. We'll have these wings off, obviously. Again, just cut straight through. Again, the joint, look, just go. So you're not really cutting through bone as such at all yet. And get in there. See, in there, and cut that off. 2 wings gone, and then now, but it's best if you just trim off. We don't want them, so just trim off them flaps or whatever there. Get rid of the loose skin. Just get rid of it. You can save it for your stock, but skin, fat, just get rid of that. Right, so then now, obviously now we're left with that. We just want to cut straight through there. And have to go through some bones now at the bottom, but you go through quite easily, look. Okay. Straight through that. Get rid of all that loose stuff there again. I'll get rid of that there as fat, just because I'm going to throw that in the bin along with them bits, to be honest with you. No, it's the wingtips I'll save. I'll get rid of that skin, just fat. Then that part is going to go in to boil for stocks and soups and stuff like that again. So I'll collect all that. Anyway, so now we're left with this bit. Whew. What we want to do here is go through it. So see this down this bottom part there. Just literally wanna on a 45-degree angle. Just come straight through that part there. Slightly missed it, look. Getting through the joint. There, look, that's where you're aiming for. Whatever. Get rid of that. So that's one piece of light meat. Around the other side, well, same difference. Just come straight through there, sort of thing. Missed it again. Yeah, I'm just cutting these bits slightly too small when I go through on the angle. You just want to make them a little bit bigger. Do you see what I mean? If I'd have just inched over a bit, you get straight through the joint. But there you go. So that's another piece of breast meat. And obviously now you're left with this. Now, when I cut through last time, see this bit's a lot fatter than this bit, so I tend to not go off. I tend to come more there. You know, it turns out a more even cut, and just straight through. then by leaving it on the bone as well, also, it just helps keep the breast moist and whatever. But I'm going to cook this for a really long time today. So then there you've got that. So now, essentially, look, you've got 4 pieces of breast meat. That's the light meat, and then 4 pieces of dark meat plus the 2 wings. 1 jointed chicken. So I'll just wash my hands and I'll be back in a second. Right, so in here I've got coriander seeds. I have already toasted them. Now this is obviously pestle and mortar. So you've heard, I don't know why they're doing like this. I need to try and find myself a better one. Now you know back in the day the there's a thing, the Romans. What did the Romans ever do for us? They enslaved us, that's what they did, and they never stopped enslaving us. But that's something else for you lot to look at your leisure if it's whatever. But the point being is, back in the day the Romans used to make these, yeah, and what they do is they put grit, you know, like, I don't know, gravel, you know, like off your driveway, real fine stones in it, then glaze it and fire it. So consequently in there would be all rough. So then when you come to grind up your spices, you can imagine, can't you? It makes short work of them. It does half the work for you. So why do we go with smooth, pretty looking bloody pestle and mortars when they're not fit for purpose? I don't know. But anyway, so what I've got is in there, I've got like some coriander seeds, look, which I'm gonna grind up in a second with all this, and then I'm gonna add into this. I'll probably do them all together actually, really and truly. So let's put the bits and bobs in. I'm gonna put in the cinnamon. I want a tablespoonful of ground coriander. I've got some seeds up there. Cumin. I'm even lying, yeah. Thanks, Jodie. So I want a tablespoonful of cumin in as well. Oh yeah, salt. That's probably what salt. See, salt helps you grind stuff up because it's coarse. I've got some coarse. Well, no, it's fine sea salt actually. I'm lying. I'm having one of them days today, Jodes, aren't I?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Indecisive. Don't know what you're doing, Dave.
But it's all good. So I want half a teaspoon of.
Just been to the pub.
Yeah, half a teaspoon.
Again.
Half a teaspoon of salt. It's half a teaspoon of this black pepper. I mean, I'm gonna have to oil this or do something with it, you know. Cost me fortunes, this did. It's a deluxe model allegedly. I've had it years and years, but I can't remember how much it was. I think it was about 15 years ago. It cost me fucking 45 quid, I think, something like that. So I'll just put loads and loads of pepper in there anyway. Half a teaspoon. Yeah, about there. And then I want a teaspoonful of turmeric. Ooh. Yeah, something like that. In. Then.
I'm really having one of them days.
I know. All you can do is laugh at it, can't you? It is what it is.
Have to go and put a lottery on.
Yeah, no, sod the lottery. So, you say the red ice. This is chili flakes. You think that's cool, Julie?
That's plenty.
You think that's plenty?
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going with half a teaspoon of chili flakes. Cool. Now I'm going to grind all that lot up. Obviously you don't want to watch me doing all this, so I'll be back in a second when I've done it. Okay? Right, my spices are kind of all ground. I was having one of them days, you know, like it's all right though. But so what you want to do basically is grind these seeds and the cinnamon first before you put any powder in it, because it's just took me a little while longer because obviously I've cushioned it all with powder in there, haven't I? But so grind your seeds up first, then add your powder to it, and you know, or just use powder in the first place. Whatever, that'd be easier one, wouldn't it?
But it's just,
yeah, I was just feeling doing it this way. I like it.
Authentic.
It's therapeutic. So anyway, staying aside to bits though. So right, so now what I'm going to do is simply now. I'll put the breast in later. Hopefully this is all going to fit in there. Wow, that's smoking. Hopefully this is all going to fit in there. If it isn't, I'll have to rethink it, change pots. But we want to get some colour on the chicken. So skin side down. Turn that down to number 8, Joe, not number 9.
You did say 8 now.
So Just, maybe.
Of course you will. Easy peasy.
I was going to do the whole dish in this though. So anyway, so now we've got that frying in there. So now what we want to do is tip on some of the spices onto the chicken. Not all of it, just give the chicken a coating. Camera was full, that's why it's cutting out, so excuse the poor video, you know, keep cutting off or whatever, but we've just deleted a lot of stuff off it now. So I'm just browning the chicken skin side down still, and you can see, I think this is where we left off, it's still got all the spices on the top. So I'm just going to let that get a lot of colour on it first, you know, 5 minutes or so, and I'll come back. Right, so I'm going to turn these over now. I can hear the radio in the background, it's like whatever, real world cooking, real people. So I'm going to spin all these over. I'm always tempted to use my hands anyway. We'll just pause it to keep it short while I do it. Turn them over. So, turn them over, and now I'm going to come back with some more spice onto the chicken. I didn't realise I had it on there then. So plenty more spice on that chicken. And I'm just going to leave that to just carry on browning that side a second. In fact, what I am going to do, look, is I'm going to add, this is a red onion and shallot. You don't necessarily need shallots, it's just that I add them, so I'm going to use them. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to scatter in these onions now into there. Let's just throw them in. I hope this pan's going to be big enough.
It's going to be brimmed, that's for sure.
I might transfer it if I have to. If I have to, I have to, don't I? So let's get them onions in there.
Smells good, that's for sure.
Right, so then I'm left with the garlic now, so I'm literally going to crush. I'm going to crush this. I really am having one of them days, aren't I?
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Whatever though.
Faulty sours, if you've ever heard of that before.
Yeah, and you're right. So I'm just going to crush all the cloves of garlic in there now, so you don't necessarily want to watch me do that because it's just straightforward, is what it is. So I'll pause and come back in a minute. Like, see all the garlic on the top there, what I've put in. I mean, this pan is looking really full. See, normally I would use just a few chicken portions, but really I've got into like buying an old chicken, to be honest with you, and just jointing it up. So, because it's kind of better, it's cheaper, you get, you know, better meat. It's just a lot better.
You get a mix of the white and the dark meat.
Yeah,
as well.
I like it that way. And it's better. I mean, this chicken. What was the chicken again? I can't remember how much it was.
£2.25, 2 kilos.
£2.25 for a 2 kilo chicken, look.
Plus we've still got the wings and the bit that we save for the stock as well. So
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So, you know, that's like that, look. So I've just, yeah, I'm gonna keep. I'll try my best to keep it in this pan, but yeah, I probably will. It's starting to shrink down a bit now, isn't it, look?
yeah.
So we're just gonna leave that to cook a bit more now. Let these onions all soften up and, you know, caramelise. And then what I'm going to do then is add the tomatoes and stuff, put the lid on, and then put it in the oven on a low light for a long time. I'm going to leave it in the oven for ages, hours. So, anyway, that's that. Look, it does smell nice, doesn't it?
It smells delightful.
Right, cool. So we'll just let that carry on frying and
Back in a moment.
back in a bit. Right, so it's been frying for a little bit now. So
Smells lovely.
it does smell really nice as well. So that's where we are at. The onions are all softened, it's breaking down, there's some juice in there, just whatever. So now I'm going to add to that a can of chopped tomatoes. I'm going to pour a tin of chopped tomatoes in there. Like that. Just literally give that a mix around into it a second. I don't want to get too mad now because I don't want the chicken to really break up. Just give that a little stir in on itself. so. Oh, get the skin off. But then, I mean, I could do with, obviously, look, I'm looking for a bit more juice in that now, so what I've got now, I mean, you could add like another tin of chopped tomatoes or whatever you want to do, really and truly. We'll add that down with a bone up. But I'm going to add, I've got some of this, like basically tomato juice. So I'm going to add that into there as well. So I'll add some of that in there as well. And now I'm just going to give that one final stir around in there, let that come to the boil, and then I'm going to put the lid on, and then it's going to go in the oven for hours till I want it. I mean, I suppose you could rush it and just put it in the oven for an hour or so, or hour and a half, whatever, but you know, we don't really want it just yet, Jode, anyway, do we? So I'm literally going to leave, I'm looking to leave it for 3 hours or so, till that chicken is just dropping to bits. That's just my personal take on it though. Oh yeah, 45 minutes before it's ready though, half an hour, 45 minutes before this is ready, I'm going to put in the dried apricots. Just turn all that around in there, and then like I say, put the lid on and into the oven with it, bring it back to the boil, and that'll be that. I'll see you in a little bit. Sorry, I forgot the rest of the spices, rest of the spice mix, what's left, put that in as well. So then I'll give it all a good stir around, and that'll be that. I'm going to leave it in the oven for hours, like I say. So just give it a stir around, lid on and in the oven, so you're not going to be missing a lot. I'll come back in a bit when it's kind of cooked. So bye now. Right, so this has had a couple of hours now. I've got some of this amaretto. I'm going to put a cap full of this in, just because it's like almonds, this is. So I'm just going to put a cap full of this in. There you go. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some dried apricots. We can get into it. So I'm just going to put a few apricots in there as well. I have also put in, previously tasting it, I've put in 3 teaspoons of sugar, just to sweeten it up a touch. I mean, it don't taste sweet now, it's just nice, you know. The spices just had a bit of a little edge to them, do you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna, like I say, throw a few of these apricots in, and I'm easily gonna give it another hour at least. Just eating one of them apricots. I'll just get it to stir around, and then back in the oven and just leave it. I want the chicken to be falling off the bone. Right, so I'll come back to you in a little bit. I'll put the lid back on and back in the oven. So this has had what? This has had ages now, Joe, hasn't it? What? 3.5 hours, something like this, maybe. I mean, this is well ready. I don't want to like disturb it too much because the chicken's probably going to be falling apart now. But I'm just gonna. Man, the sauce is really thick though. But I've made a bit of.
It's gone thicker, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. I mean, the reason we're debating here is I've made some corn flour, a couple of spoons of corn flour to thicken the sauce up, but I'm not even sure it's going to need it, to be honest to you.
No, it's quite thicker than it was, isn't it? Thickened up.
Yeah, there's a bit of oil on the top. That's obviously from, you know, out the chicken, but should we leave it as is?
Yeah, I think we're alright, aren't we?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's ready to go, isn't it, then?
Yum.
And there you go. So I'll try that. I hope it's going to fall off the bone. It's quite nice. I'll taste it anyway. Don't want to turn it too much. Look, bits and bobs are falling off it, so let's leave it be. So there you go. That's like Moroccan style chicken. Have a little taste of it. No, it is really. Yeah, that's really nice. It's a bit like a curry, but not. Well worth a try that.
Okay.
Cheers then. Bye bye.